Tired of not knowing the cost to replace your shingle roof in Anchorage? We're about to go over it. Let's get into it. So in this video, we're gonna break down 4 things. The cost of a roof replacement in Anchorage, Total Roof Care's average cost of replacement, how replacement prices are estimated, and how to know if your roof is priced too high. Okay, let's start with the average cost of roof replacement in the Anchorage market. Before we get into that average, I want to say something about online pricing. You can go to AI, you can go to Gemini, you can go to these online estimators, but most of them are not very accurate. AI can get kind of close, but they're not accurate, especially the online, the apps or the websites that say that they can estimate the cost of replacement average based off of your zip code. It's not true because those are really designed for the lower 48. They do not understand the costs of replacement in Anchorage. We're a unique market and the price of labor and material is higher, not to mention the small roofing season and there's a high demand. So they'll tell you the average is $8,000 to $10,000 and then you'll get a $30,000 quote and be like, what? So don't trust those. Don't trust Google and these estimators or even AI. AI is closer, but still not as accurate as the numbers that we have put together, which are based off of self-reports from the community, people telling us about what they got charged for their roof, competitor quotes that we've gone up against. And so this is an average number of what roof replacement is in Anchorage based off of our experience and self-reports of people in the community. So the cost to replace a standard asphalt shingle roof in Anchorage, Alaska is between $15,000 and $23,000. It's much more expensive than the lower 48. A lot of people get shell shocked from that, but that is what it is. And for a metal roof, it can be 2 to 3 times more expensive than that. So $15,000 shingle roof replacement can go, that'll be the price. And then you're like, can I get a metal estimate? And it's $30,000 to $40,000, for a metal roof. And people get shell shocked by that as well. But that just is what it is. Metal is much more expensive. The labor is different. It's just a different beast. So for Total Roof Care, of the jobs we closed last year, our average cost was $18,000. $18,000 to replace your roof. That was our average cost. And like 95% of those were shingle roof replacements. And we had a job that was a metal roof that was a $15,000 replacement, and that was an outlier. We had shingle jobs that were close to $30,000 and some that were closer to $10,000. And so we had a lot of variance, but the average comes out to $18,000. And these averages can be deceiving because the price really just depends on your roof specifically. So you can't really rely on these averages to see what your roof costs. Like if somebody hears that, $850 is the average cost per square or per square foot, $850 per square, somebody hears that, okay, my roof is 1,000 square feet. Most people don't know the square footage of the roof, but say like my roof is 1,000 square feet, so that's $8,500. But it's actually a 12-12 pitch, and we can barely get access to it because there's just no way to get a dumpster close to the roof, and so that increases labor cost, and you end up getting an estimate for $20,000, and you're like, well, these guys are ripping me off or something like that, and you didn't get multiple quotes either to figure that out. So anyways, you can't rely on these averages. How are roof replacements actually estimated? So there's a number of different factors, but to make it really simple for you, it is estimated based on the cost of labor and the cost of material. So anything that increases labor on your roof, like the pitch, it being a 3-story house, accessibility, 2 layers of shingles, rotted plywood, hand tabbing, excessive ridges, valleys, hips, and skylights, all these things increase the complexity of the installation and therefore increases labor time, increasing the expense of your roof replacement. So you got to take those things into account. And then as far as material goes, hips, valleys, ridges, skylights, multiple facets, all of these things will also increase the cost of material because it takes additional material for a ridge, it takes additional material for a hip and for a valley, as well as multiple facets because you have to put flashing on every edge of the roof. So when you have multiple facets, there's more edges. So the quality of material is the next thing that you need to take into account, like metal versus shingles. We already talked about that. Owens Corning shingles, duration shingles, and they have nicer shingles as well. But Owens Corning versus Malarkey Legacy shingles, the wind rating is different. Well, actually, the wind rating on those might be the same, but they're just a higher quality shingle, way higher quality, and the expense is going to be much greater for a higher quality shingle. Not to mention, 6 feet of ice and water versus ice and water all the way to the ridge, and the warranty that you provide and things like that. So all of these things have to be taken into account and are taken into account when we do estimates. Okay, so with this information, how do I know if the estimate for my roof is fair or not? And that's a great question, and that is something very important that you should know. So it has an easier answer as well. The answer is get 3 to 5 quotes for the cost to replace your roof, and you'll know which ones are the outliers and which ones are not. But you also, like I said, you have to know what material they're putting on, what factors each person is factoring in. Like if one company forgot to factor in that there's no accessibility and one of them did remember to factor that in, then you want to make sure all of them are estimating for the same scope of work, have the same things factored in, material and all that, so that you know who's actually giving you a fair price or not. Because some contractors, there's so much pressure to get so many roofs done in such a small amount of time that, we just give go-away prices for things that we don't want to handle. There's other jobs we can do for a higher margin or something like that. And so sometimes roofers will just give a go-away price. And this is an easy way to get around that. If they're giving you a high price, you need to just get other estimates and figure out if it is a high price or if they're actually giving you a good price. Had to make sure the camera was rolling. Yeah, another thing, you need to know what shingle type you're getting, ice and water coverage, and the warranty, and all that. You have to be able to compare these estimates to each other. As an example, a $16,000 estimate for a house on the hillside, all the way up in Bear Valley where the winds are super high, versus a $60,000 estimate, you might just be like, wow, this guy is just pricing me a ton. But you got to think about the value offer and what they're actually including. So like the guy for $16,000 might be charging for Owens Corning shingles, ice and water, 6 feet up, and a 5-year warranty. When the guy who is charging you $60,000 is charging you for ice and water all the way to the ridge, timberline shingles that are rated for 150 mile per hour winds, and a 15-year warranty. So that $60,000 roof will not blow off. That roof is going to be good when the one for $16,000 is going to probably fail for a roof up in the valley. Not to mention the fact that those shingles are not even, Owens Corning shingles are not even legal. Well, it depends actually. So it's illegal to install shingles that do not meet the warranty wind limit for the area. And so obviously Bear Valley gets very high winds. So you would want a shingle that exceeds the winds that you get up there. Okay, just a quick tip. When it comes to roof replacement, the lowest price is not always the best. And that is what I just illustrated. Okay, finally, if you see the cost of replacement and are not sure you are ready to drop that kind of money, we have an alternative for you. So that alternative can save you tens of thousands of dollars over roof replacement, and it's called Roof Rejuvenate. Roof Rejuvenate can extend the life of your shingle roof by up to 15 years, and especially when paired with hand tabbing, roof tune-up, moss removal, or roof repair. So Roof Rejuvenate is basically a way, if your roof isn't failing, we can extend its life by up to 15 years. It improves the granule adhesion, it improves winter flexibility, meaning cold weather flexibility, and it improves the tear strength of the shingle. All this has been tested. And for shingle rejuvenation, we have to inspect every single roof to make sure that it actually can have its life extended. And we will do all the things that we can to get an extra 5 to 15 years out of the roof for you at a fraction of the cost of replacement. So if you're interested in an inspection, roof repair, rejuvenation, or replacement, any of those things, definitely visit our website or give us a call. Both of those things are going to be down in the description. Also, comment what you think I should do a video on next. Anything that you want to know about roof replacement or the roofing industry in general in Anchorage, I'm your guy. I'll answer any questions you have. I'll make a whole YouTube video about it, Facebook, Instagram, all those things. I'm gonna be blasting them to inform, our client base. So definitely make those comments. Okay, so now you should know the average cost of a roof replacement in Anchorage, what Total Roof Care's average is, what the estimates are based on, and how to determine the right price for yourself. I'm Robert with Total Roof Care, bringing the best of what we have to offer the community. Appreciate you watching this all the way to the end, and thank you. Have a great day. Bye.